Hey guys, welcome to the video. Thanks for joining today. Today, I'm going to talk about the Xtep 2000 kilometers version 5. I've had these shoes for a couple months. It's a Chinese shoe brand, not quite as well known as like Li-Ning and Anta and some of those brands, but it is a very serious shoe brand. They've made some racing shoes that have had a lot of Asian champions over the last several years. This series is called the 2000 kilometer. It's a version 5, but they actually skipped version 4. Apparently, it's a little superstition in that the number 4 sounds a lot like the word for death in Chinese, so they skipped version 4. I've got 80 miles in these, so I'm getting a good sense for them. I'm going to admit, the very first 10 miles of them, I really didn't enjoy the shoes. They were just extremely firm. They were just too firm. But I will say they start breaking in, probably in that 10 to 15 mile range. And my third run in them was my first one that I really kind of enjoyed. And I've really kind of enjoyed the shoes since then. I don't find it, their foam they're using is a supercritical TPU. I've heard it referred to as an ATPU. I don't know if it's that exact formulation, but basically like an ATPU foam, but it is very dense and it is pretty firm. They put a nylon shank through the middle to give it some stability. The shoe will still bend from side to side some, but it's still very stable underfoot. I think part of that is due to the firmer foam. It's got a pretty breathable upper. It's one layer of mesh. It seems to breathe real well. The tongue is lightly padded, I would say. It's lightly padded in the top half of the tongue. There's no cushioning in the bottom part, but it does enough to keep the lace bite down. It does not have a gusseted tongue, but once you get it in place, it does stay in place well. These are the stability plate kind of coming up on the side, so it really does stabilize you pretty well. It's got a pull tab. I would call it a light to mid cushioned heel collar. I ended up buying these in a men's size 12, partly because I usually wear a men's size 11.5 in most Western brand shoes, but they offered either an 11 or a 12. I went with the 12. I would say it makes the toe box is a little long for me, but other than that, it fits me really well. And I actually like the shape of the toe box. It's fairly rounded. It's got a little bit of angle in, but it's not super sharp. So I'm feeling like I have plenty of room for my toes in there. I obviously am one that likes wider toe boxes. I tend to wear a lot of Ultras and Topos. This isn't as wide as those, but it works quite well for my medium width foot. There is no plate in it other than the stability shank in the middle. One of the things that it does have that really kind of makes it special, they call this the 2000 kilometer, promoting that it's going to last you 2,000 kilometers, 1,200 miles. I'm not expecting that to be the case. However, they are using what they call a professional level outsole or something like that, but it's basically CPU, and they've made it pretty thick. It's like 2 millimeters thick everywhere, and then they've made it 3 millimeters thick in the areas you're going to strike the most, like in the heel and up in this forefoot. It becomes wider. It's more like 3 millimeters thick. So it is going to last. And I will say I've got 80 miles in them, and I'm seeing next to no wear on them. So I do think they are holding up really well. For me, just because they are so firm, I'm not probably going to use them for, well, I think I could pick up the pace in them because you can feel a little bit of sink down. You feel a little bit of squish, but you don't go very far down because it is fairly firm. And then you just come right back up. It's not a real aggressive rocker in the front. It's got a little bit. but it's actually got a rocker throughout the whole shoe. I would call it more like a, what do they call that? The thing Hoka does, where it kind of rolls through your stride. When I'm forefoot striking, I don't feel that much. It's just a nice ride. When I'm actually walking, you can feel yourself rolling through the stride really well. So it is very comfortable. I'm just finding this a great daily trainer. It does weigh, they said 223 grams in a men's size 9. In my men's size 12, it's coming in at about 10 ounces, which isn't super light, but it's fairly light for size 12. In me, it's under 300 grams, and it's in a size 12, which I think is pretty reasonable. I'm finding it breathes pretty well. I think it's going to hold up really well. Now, I got these off of AliExpress. I paid like $66, and with shipping and import fees and all that, I ended up paying $72. So, and I think it's quite well worth it, because I do, even though I don't really expect 1,200 miles, I am expecting to get quite a bit of mileage out of these. I'm wanting to try to keep them in my daily rotation until I get probably over 500 miles, so I can give you a report on how well they're holding up. Xtep does make a 2,000 kilometers version 5 Pro, which is somewhat similar to this shoe. They do add 3 millimeters more of stack height, and they give it a heated PEBA foam, which would probably get a little, would give it a little bit more bounce. So it's a little bit more premium. I think it cost about $20 more than this one. I have recently seen this one on sale as low as like $56 on AliExpress with a $6 or $7 coupon, and then you're going to pay, you know, probably $5 or $6 in shipping and taxes. So you end up getting a pair of these shoes for about 50 bucks, which I think is a deal. But something I didn't talk about is the stack height. On their website, it does say that this is a 7 millimeter drop. It talks about it being 22 in the forefoot and 29 in the heel. I have figured out that that does not include the outsole or the insole. If you add those in, I think this is going to be more like a 28-35, something like that. I do believe the 7 millimeter drop. I just think it is a little bit higher stack height, probably not super, kind of what they call, what most people would consider a medium stack height now, being 28 and 35. But anyway, I'm impressed with the shoe. It's going to be good. I feel comfortable with it in part of my daily rotation. It's not going to be a race shoe for me. I have not yet decided if it's going to be a shoe I'll run long in. I just have been using it for daily runs over and over, and it feels comfortable. Anyway, those are my thoughts. We'll bring up some of the specs and just see if there's anything I'm missing. Yeah, the outsole they're calling Xtep Dura technology, but it is just a thick CPU, which does seem, it has good grip. I mean, it's really been good when I've been out. It's mostly been dry around here, but I have run it a little bit after rain and when it's wet out, and it works really good. That's about it. I think it's been a good shoe so far. If you have any interest in the video, please consider hitting the thumbs up, the like button. If you're interested in more my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. I will be doing periodic updates on this as it gets a lot more miles, and I will let you know how it goes. Anyway, thanks for watching. Keep moving.